Look at the area under your chin, not your jawline, underneath it. That soft zone between the chin and the neck. A lot of people notice something happening there, a heaviness, a loss of definition, earlier than they expected. They blame weight, or getting older, or genetics. But there's a structural reason most people never hear about, and it starts with something you're doing, or not doing, with your tongue right now. Save this video. There's an exercise coming you'll want to return to. Stop for a second. Where is your tongue right now? Most people, when they actually check, find it sitting at the bottom of the mouth, maybe resting against the lower teeth. That's low oral posture, and it's very common. It develops gradually. Softer food, less chewing, more time with the mouth slightly open. The tongue adapts to a lower position, and the structures around it adapt too. Here's why that matters. The tongue weighs around 70 grams, and it's almost entirely muscle. Like any muscle, it exerts constant force on the structures around it. When the tongue rests against the roof of the mouth, it pushes upward, all day. That pressure maintains the width of the palate. It keeps the floor of the mouth lifted. It acts like an internal scaffold for the lower face. When the tongue drops, that internal support disappears, and over time, the face changes to reflect that. Under the chin, there's a group of muscles called the suprahyoid muscles: the digastric, the mylohyoid, the geniohyoid. These connect the lower jaw to the hyoid bone. The hyoid is unusual. It's the only bone in the body with no direct connection to any other bone. It's held entirely by muscles and ligaments. When the tongue is up, these muscles stay active. The hyoid sits where it should. When the tongue drops, the muscles lose their tone. The hyoid descends. And when the hyoid descends, everything attached to it softens. The submental area, that zone right under the chin, loses its definition. That's the actual mechanism behind it. Not age, not excess weight, but muscle tone. Now the practical part. First, seal your lips gently. No strain, just closed. Then breathe through your nose. That's the baseline. You can't maintain correct tongue posture with your mouth open. Now place just the tip of the tongue behind your upper front teeth, not pressing against them, just anchored there. From that point, press the entire surface of the tongue flat against the roof of the mouth. The whole dorsal surface, up against the hard palate. That's the position. It'll feel strange at first. If the tongue has been sitting low for years, the muscles holding it up have weakened. They need time to rebuild. You don't hold this consciously all day. The goal is to retrain the resting state. Like any other muscle pattern, it needs repetition over time. A simple approach: check a few times a day, after eating, before sleep, when you catch yourself with your mouth slightly open. Each check is a rep. There's another piece to this: breathing. Oral posture and breathing are directly linked. When the tongue drops, the airway behind it narrows slightly. The body responds by opening the mouth, and mouth breathing keeps the tongue low. It's a loop. Research on mouth breathing consistently shows associations with changes in facial development, elongation of the lower face, narrowing of the dental arch, altered muscle activation. Most pronounced in children, but adults who habitually breathe through the mouth show different patterns too. This is the kind of thing we cover here every week. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. So alongside tongue position, nasal breathing matters. A lot of people don't realize how much they breathe through their mouth, especially at night. If you regularly wake up with a dry mouth, a sore throat, or dry lips, that's nighttime mouth breathing. Worth noticing. During the day, the habit is simple: mouth closed at rest, breathing through the nose. You're not controlling every breath, just making nose breathing the normal state when you're at rest. Now the exercise. The suprahyoid muscles respond well to direct activation. This is called a tongue press. Variations of it appear in myofunctional therapy protocols. It takes about 2 minutes. Sit tall first, chin in neutral, not pushed forward and not tucked down. And the only thing you need to feel is activation under the chin and at the base of the tongue. Not in the jaw, not in the neck, underneath the chin. One note if you have jaw tension or TMJ issues: clicking, tightness, discomfort, start gently. The tongue press activates the jaw muscles too, and overdoing it early can create strain. And if you suspect there's a structural reason for mouth breathing, a deviated septum, chronic congestion, enlarged tonsils, exercises won't fix that. That's a medical conversation first. Let's be honest about what changes and what doesn't. In adults, bone remodeling is slow. You're not going to reshape the bony jaw structure with tongue exercises. What you can change: soft tissue, muscle tone under the chin, the position of the hyoid, the sharpness of the jaw to neck transition. That's not a small thing. The difference between a hyoid that sits too low and one that sits correctly is visible. How fast? Months, not weeks. Consistency matters more than intensity. If someone you know has been noticing changes under the chin, send them this video to pull this together. The lower face changes not just from age or weight, but from how the tongue and the muscles under the chin have been functioning for years. Low tongue posture, weakened suprahyoid muscles, hyoid descends, soft tissue follows. It's structural, and it's something you can actually work with. 3 things: tongue resting position, check it during the day. Nasal breathing at rest, make it the default. Tongue press, 10 reps twice a day. The changes take time, but they're real. And it all starts with something as simple as where your tongue is resting right now.